Like Jeffrey Dahmer, I might go psycho, flow like nitro, like a rifle, dangerous as infant, but my name ain't Michael. I'm packing, a motherfucking rapping. Don't say shit till I'm done rapping. Brown all over, but my name ain't Bobby. You, your crew, and your mama can't stop me. So who in the house wants to step to the flex? I'm eating up niggas like checks. Lucky Charms, Rice Krispies and Cheerios. Like a pimp on the strip, see me slap them hoes. Cause no one knows where the flow goes when the doors close. Pass me half a pint and watch me get.
Artist Leon Ivy Jr., aka Coolio, born August 1st, 1963. Today's feature is an artist that was one of the most successful hip-hop artists of the 90s, especially coming from the background he came from. I still remember as kids we would have daily contests seeing who could rap the song Gangsta's Paradise the longest without misrapping a word. Of my 90s memories of hip-hop, this song will forever be a staple in my life of what that era felt like, and that's a testament to how globally recognized as a hit this song was. As far as global singles, that may even be an understatement. Of Billboard's list of 100 greatest songs of all time, it was ranked number 85, along with number 38 on a similar VH1 chart. Was rated the best single of 1995 as well as top single of any genre in the year in the United States. Not to mention winning a Grammy in 1996, beating out Tupac Shakur and the Notorious B.I.G. But more than that one song, Coolio was one of the best artists when it came to telling a story through his words and videos. His song Fantastic Voyage takes you on a ride through back in the day of one of the rare good days growing up in Compton, California, getting away from the struggle it was in the hood to a nice day at the beach. See You When You Get There is still to me one of the more meaningful songs of 90s era rap, promoting the message of keep pushing through hard times and not giving up on life. Coolio's music always drove you emotionally and made you think and watch the messages and images important for people to see and understand. One of positive healing for people that look like him or not. Not many artists can say they ever had a song go 5 times platinum or had an album see 1 million copies. Coolio's first 3 albums went platinum from 94 to 97, with his sophomore effort Gangsta's Paradise selling over 2 million copies. With all his success, it was hard understanding why Coolio seems forgotten when it comes to 90s hip-hop by some, and through writing this, I understand why. I also came to understand that in a first for me, I came into this process with an image of Coolio as having not reached his full potential, to after research found that in fact, that's the least of what he did coming from a place like Compton, California, to the accomplishments he had within the industry of entertainment. So here are 3 reasons Coolio isn't remembered like the top producing artist he was, mixed with some things that may have hurt his career. I can't say that his growth was fully stunted though, but let's talk about it. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth Music. Let's get it, man. Coolio was born and raised in Compton, California, and didn't get the early start in music like most stories of success you hear. He was a regular guy, working regular jobs up until 24 years old when he recorded his first single, What You Gonna Do. He was linked to Dub C and the Mad Circle early on and released an album with the group in 1991. Through that doing well, he was able to sign with Tommy Boy Records, with whom he had his greatest success. Stunt number 1 wasn't the most controversial. The first reason, and again not exactly a stunt, that Coolio isn't remembered like other rappers or groups of the 90s is because Coolio just wasn't as controversial an artist as his peers. Controversy, for whatever reason, will always be remembered more than the positive message. I think we as people tend to think of the positive message almost like a responsibility in a way, and the negative as just something free to laugh, talk, and feel emotional about. When someone says to you, you need to get up, get out, and get something, you can feel like there's work to be done, and if you don't react with effort, you somehow failed. Negativity feels like time to relax, not to think, just sit back and take in the drama and emotions running through you that's easier to handle. Coolio's message for the most part was positive, especially his singles that forced you to look in the mirror and rise up to either make something of yourself or become another statistic. For these reasons, people go on to remember Tupac or B.I.G, Big L, King Von, Young Dolph, and the list goes on from then and now. They tend to forget the Brand Nubians, the Tribe Called Quest, KRS-Ones, Lauryn Hills, and more. Artists that challenged you to live a better life. Not saying Coolio was the cleanest artist, but the aura around his music wasn't threatening or a beacon of controversy, and it made him more forgettable with time. Also, Coolio may be the perfect example of not judging a book by its cover. First glance, you may walk to the other side of the street seeing Coolio in the dark, but he's actually well-spoken and educated with a college background. So in interviews, he wasn't screaming and aggressive, which all makes noise and creates memorable controversy. Stunt number 2, being dropped from Tommy Boy. To me, this was the only true growth stunt for Coolio, because of how well he and the Tommy Boy label fit musically and the success they had together. Every album they released as a team went platinum or better, starting with Coolio's solo debut, 1994, It Takes a Thief, his follow-up 1995 Gangsta's Paradise, and 1997's My Soul. This kind of longevity is not promised in hip-hop, and coming from an inner-city Compton neighborhood, releasing one professional album was a success, not thinking of going platinum first try or double platinum on the next, followed by another platinum record a few years later. That span of success for Coolio must have felt like the best times of his life. Tommy Boy weren't mad either. Coolio wasn't initially seen as a top investment. In fact, he only signed a single deal at first until they heard his studio songs and realized they need to sign him for at least an album. He became one of the biggest, if not the biggest artist on Tommy Boy from 94 to 97, and then all of a sudden he was dropped. After his third album went platinum, with one of my favorite Coolio songs, See You When You Get There on it, they released him. Without the label's Midas touch with Coolio, he never saw the same success again. Maybe the label could foresee the fire burning low for Coolio entering the 2000s era, where everything was more bright and flashy and not the most raw, gangsta, or storytelling like 90s rap was. It was time to get the bag, and I don't think Coolio made music to do that necessarily.
What's up with my killers and all my bitches? I hope y'all ready to get these bitches.
Stunt number 3, a not so perfect final act. Let's face it, as a music artist, there's always a point when your music just doesn't hit the mark anymore. The environments change, more popular artists and sounds that are younger comes in, new dress codes and perspectives along with new lingo. When this happens, all the ones still stuck in the past that fans became comfortable with are left behind. In Coolio's case, I just don't think he made good music throughout the 2000s or sound direction moves for that matter. His first album without Tommy Boy released exclusively in Japan. I get there's a market there, but coming off platinum success, not only was it a fumble, it came out so long after his 97 My Soul, and it should have released everywhere like his previous albums did. His music thereafter was either dated, promoted incorrectly, or lacked promotion in general, or he had become something no one thought he would, a regular rapper, with regular messages of cars, money, women, and materialistic lifestyle. He released a song, for example, called Out for the Bag last year, coincidentally after re-signing with Tommy Boy in 2021, that has to be one of the worst, most predictable songs I've ever heard in my life. Coming from Coolio as some comeback attempt was cringeworthy and made no sense. Because he was heading in this direction musically after being dropped from Tommy Boy is one reason why he isn't remembered on the same level as his 90s peers. When it comes to memory, people have a "what have you done for me lately" attitude, And lately, or since his independent run began, it wasn't much to be satisfied with. All in all, Coolio is still to me a success. Like mentioned, I don't think his growth was stunted when you think about what he came from to where he went. It's amazing. Not many rappers can say they won a Grammy, or went platinum 3 different times, or have a song people know word for word across the world. He's able to feed his family and isn't that bad a role model either, except for this song, bruh. Coolio, nah, my G. But salute, much respect, but for these reasons, I just think he sometimes isn't remembered, not necessarily stunted. It's your boy JC, Stunted Growth Music, and I'm out.